Rees Mogg clapped back at Bruce after being challenged on pre- and post-Brexit migration figures. Jacob Rees Mogg has rejected accusations from Labour that the last government conducted an open borders experiment but admitted that immigration policy failed under the Conservatives. Appearing on BBC's Question Time on Thursday night, the former cabinet minister said, "Immigration policy failed. And it failed to do what the British people had wanted." It comes after revised official estimates revealed net migration to the UK hit a record high of nearly 1 million last year. The difference between the number of people entering Britain and those leaving reached 906,000 in the year to June 2023, according to the Office for National Statistics, ONS. Asked by QT host Fiona Bruce about comments by former immigration minister and Tory leadership contender Robert Jenrick, who said today was a day of shame for the Conservative Party and that the public were right to be furious, Mr. Rees Mogg said he agreed. He offered an apology to the public, contending that we failed, and we were culpable for that, because we were in charge. There are all sorts of reasons why we failed. Asked what went wrong, he said it was partly a response to COVID, and that there was a feeling that it was going to be very hard to find people to fill jobs. Partly it was the way that economic growth was scored by the OBR, and it was thought that migration would boost growth, and would allow tax revenues to rise and to pay for public services that people want, he added. Mr. Rees Mogg also said it was partly because a new system was brought in which allowed too many people to come in. Asked how he felt as a strong proponent of Britain leaving the EU that the figures for net migration were lower pre-Brexit than post-Brexit, he said the figures were completely wrong before. The pre-Brexit figures, it was thought that about 2 million would register as a right to stay here post-Brexit. The figure was over 5 million when it was finally created. So for years, the ONS was giving us wrong figures on the people coming from the European Union. So yes, I do dispute that they were lower beforehand, because they were simply wrong. They had an extra 3 million plus people who had come in who no one was recording. Regular host Fiona Bruce is also joined by Secretary of State for Culture, Media and Sport, Lisa Nandy, MP broadcaster Mariella Frostrup, former Cabinet Minister Rory Stewart and Professor Anand Menon, Director of the Political Research Institute, UK in a Changing Europe. Immigration has seen a sharp rise in response to a points-based system for work visas the Tories put in place after Brexit. Boris Johnson's government also allowed graduates to stay in the country for longer to find a job, as well as expanding the visa route for workers in healthcare. The rules were then tightened by his successor but one Rishi Sunak, which contributed to the fall seen this year. The measures included raising work via salary thresholds, and restricting the ability of international students and care workers to bring family members to Britain.